Are you constantly feeling anxious? Are you constantly feeling condemned? You're constantly overthinking. The reason is not because you're anxious. The reason is because you think that you're right. You have become entitled to your own opinion. So now anyone that goes against that, comments, judgment, anything you could imagine, you now feel that burden because you made yourself a slave to what other people think of you. When you do this, all you do is manage your perception, and that is true slavery. I woke up this morning and I felt condemned and I felt some shame thinking the grace alone gospel is wrong. What if I'm preaching the wrong gospel? What if I need to focus on my works more? What if I'm doing something that's wrong? I'm leading people to hell. And I felt this overwhelming amount of shame where I felt crippled. And I realized it's because I fell back into the game. When I was the most miserable in my life, when I was in my workspace self-righteous days, you know why I was miserable? Because I thought it was me against everyone else. I thought it was me against the world. I'm going to be this obedient Christian. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I realized today that I'm doing that very same thing when it comes to the gospel of grace. It doesn't matter what you believe on either side of the coin. When you fall into that game of I have the sauce, I'm right, you're wrong, is the moment that you become a slave. What happens now? Comments, debates, disagreements. The moment people have things to say about you, you start performing. And when you start performing, it produces anxiety. Because now when you don't perform well enough, when people misunderstand you, you're going to be crippled. Now I realize real power, real security comes when you accept I could be completely wrong. For all I know, this grace alone stuff could be completely wrong and I could be an idiot. But guess what? That's true surrender because you're no longer validated through echo chambers. You're no longer validated through sight, through what you can see. You're walking by faith and you're trusting in Jesus either finished it or he didn't. And if he didn't, I'm willing to bank my whole life on that and I'm content with that. Whether you believe it or not, that thing you do with the gospel will bleed into your life now. So now when people have opinions towards you, instead of you getting so mad and so defensive, you can now go, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I am wrong. Now you can have relationships with people. Now you can, have peace. Now you don't have to always be on edge in this fight or flight mode, constantly trying to prove yourself, constantly putting this image and this facade up. And you can embrace, you know what? Maybe I am wrong. And that's power right there. I realized I'm not justified by being right. I'm justified by what Jesus did. And like we said, if he failed, then so be it. I am not justified by winning theology debates. I'm not justified by everyone liking me. I'm justified by God. So I don't have to feel condemned when people are in my comments. You guys don't have to feel condemned when people have things to say about you. Why? Because they don't have power over you. Man's opinion doesn't mean a thing. And that's easier said than done. Of course, I still care here and there. But when you understand that you could be wrong, now suddenly all those opinions don't have as much weight over you. When you think I must defend this, I better prove this, you have now made yourself a slave to the outcomes. Now that produces misery, that produces anxiety, that produces the up and down lifestyle, that produces the comparison, the judgment, always feeling the need to be seen and be so loud. There's no contentness in your life. I realized most pastors, most people could debunk me in seconds. I'd get killed in a debate. But you know, one thing I do have is I have peace in my life where I've realized I'm not in the business to prove myself. I'm not in the business to show that I have the perfect theology. I'm in the business to have joy, love, and show that love towards other people and accept what Jesus has done for me. And if that's wrong, then I'm willing to lose off of that.